Okay, Year 9, here we are, week 6, last week of this half term, and we're going to be bringing Act 1 of the Crucible to a close. And as you will see when you finish today's lesson, there is a real rise in hysteria between the characters in this last section of Act 1 as they all start blaming each other and they all look for ways to escape the finger of witchcraft being pointed towards them. So before we read that section, I wanted to remind you of these images that we looked at in the first week to try and help you understand what we mean by the term hysteria. So a dictionary definition is exaggerated or uncontrollable emotion or excitement. And in those lessons on that first week, you looked at, you actually did it the other way around. You looked at the images of the people going wild first, and then you looked at the Beatles. But the Beatles, as bizarrely, a group of ordinary looking young gentlemen who sang together in a group, the reaction to that group was complete hysteria at times. Young women who were perfectly sane and normal in any other part of their life would go completely mad for these four gentlemen. And what happened was, as soon as one person started doing it, everybody else joined in this uncontrollable, frenzied reaction to things going on around them. And that is what we see in this next section of the Crucible. Okay, there are a few words in this next section which you may not have come across before. So I'm going to go over those words with you on the next screen, and then I'm going to read all the way through to the end of Act 1 so that you hopefully get a really good sense of the pace and the excitement and the hysteria and the uncontrolled emotion that would be happening on the stage in front of you if you were seeing this as a play. Because remember, that's what this is. The best way to access this story is to go to a theatre and to see it being performed live in front of you with all the character interactions going on. That really brings the story of the Crucible to life. Okay. Right, I would like you to put today's date, please, and then the title, Developing Vocabulary, and underline both of those. Pause me, please, whilst you follow this instruction. Okay, so the list of 10 words that you see on this screen, they are words that appear in this final part of Act 1, and I wanted to make sure before I read it to you that you have some understanding of what each of those words mean. I didn't want this activity to be taking you sort of 20-25 minutes, so I filled in the definition for you, okay? And I've given you your first example sentence. One of the reasons I've given you that example sentence is to remind you, folks, that all sentences need to have a capital letter at the beginning and a full stop at the end. I've seen a lot of work being uploaded onto Teams where we seem to be forgetting that those are the basic fundamental rules of writing any sentence. So on the screen in front of you, you have an excellent sentence written by myself. Thank you very much. Which includes a capital letter at the beginning and a full stop at the end. Come on now, folks, we're in year 9. We're going to be starting our GCSE courses in September. And the last thing your English teacher is going to want to be reminding you of the need to do is to capitalise your sentence and to put a full stop at the end. So please make sure, those of you hand working to me, you've heard it from my lips. Everybody else, is exactly what your own English teacher would be saying. Get the accuracy into your work, please. Okay, so I'll just read through those words. I'm anticipating nobody will have come across that first one, and we pronounce it licentious, okay, and that means not behaving in the right way. Okay, so a new word, I'm pretty sure, for practically everybody in year 9. Then we have the words afflict, intone, evade, concealing, enlisted, conjure, corruption, compact, and eternal. Now then, a lot of you might be thinking, well, I know what the word compact means. And compact quite often means small or packed really tightly into a small space. However, there is another meaning to the word compact, and it to join in an agreement with somebody. Okay? So you make a compact with somebody, make a deal with somebody, an agreement to both do the same thing or both behave in an incorrect fashion, or whatever sentence you come up with. I have included on the next screen a support page, so it gives you this table, but on that screen I have given you all of my sentence suggestions just to help you if you get stuck with any of the words and trying to fit them into a sentence which makes sense. Okay, I would rather that you have a go at doing those sentences yourself, because that will help you to really understand what that means. But if you're really stuck on any of those, there are suggestions of example sentences to be found on the next screen. Okay, right, I'm anticipating that's going to take you about 7 or 8 minutes to do. Okay, folks. And here you have my example sentences. You will notice that all of these sentences do have capital letters and full stops. So please make sure I can say the same thing and you can say the same thing about the example sentences that you are about to, that you have just created. Please go back through and correct any missing capital letters or full stops. Accuracy is the key to doing well in English. Right, I have to say, folks, I'm feeling a little bit nervous here because I know what you're supposed to see on stage in this next bit of text, and I'm feeling a little bit of trepidation about my ability to create it as an exciting bit of text for you. I may try to do some strange voices. I will read bits of the stage instructions out if I think they're really important, and I'm going to do my best to entertain you, because after all, that's the ultimate goal, the ultimate purpose of any written fiction text is to entertain the people who are reading it, or in a play, the people who are watching it. So here we go. Mrs. Gardner, feeling a little bit nervous. I probably should just remind you, actually, of where we've got to. So Reverend Hale arrived, remember, with his weighty books full of knowledge, and he's been called by Reverend Parris to the village of Salem to find out if the girls' strange illnesses and their dancing in the woods is linked to witchcraft. Some people want it to be, because they see it as an opportunity for gaining land from people, and for blaming people for the deaths of their babies. Other people think that everything should be just allowed to rest as it is. There is no witchcraft, and the children will heal themselves given time and space. Okay, here we go then. The stoppage of prayer. That is strange. I'll speak further on that with you. I'm not saying she's touched the devil now, but I'd admire to know what books she reads and why she hides them. She'll not answer me, you see. But we'll discuss it. Now, mark me. If the devil is in her, that is in Betty, you will witness some frightful wonders in this room, so please to keep your wits about you. Mr. Putnam, stand close in case she flies. Now, Betty dear, will you sit up? Putnam comes in closer, ready-handed. Hale sits Betty up, but she hangs limp in his hands. He observes her carefully. The others watch breathlessly. Can you hear me? I am John Hale, Minister of Beverley. I have come to help you, dear. Do you remember my 2 little girls in Beverley? Oh, how can it be the devil? Why would he choose my house to strike? We have all manner of licentious people in the village. What victory would the devil have to win a soul already bad? It is the best the devil wants. And who is better than the minister? Oh, that's deep, Mr. Parris. Deep, deep. Betty, answer Mr. Hale. Betty, does someone afflict you, child? It need not be a woman, mind you, or a man. Perhaps some bird invisible to others comes to you. Perhaps a pig, a mouse, or any beast at all. Is there some figure bids you fly? The child remains limp in his hands. In silence he lays her back on the pillow. Now, holding out his hands towards her, he intones some Latin. In nomine Domini salvus su filique ad inferno. She does not stir. He turns to Abigail, his eyes narrowing. Abigail, what sort of dancing were you doing with her in the forest? Why, common dancing is all. I think I ought to say that I saw a kettle in the grass where they were dancing. That were only soup. What sort of soup were in this kettle, Abigail? Why, it were beans and lentils, I think, and Mr. Parris, you did not notice, did you, any living thing in the kettle? A mouse, perhaps? A spider? A frog? I do believe there were some movement in the soup. That jumped in. We never put it in. What jumped in? Why, a very little frog jumped. A frog? Abby! Hale grasping Abigail. Abigail, it may be your cousin is dying. Did you call the devil last night? I never called him. Tituba, Tituba. She called the devil? I should like to speak with Tituba. Goody Ann, will you bring her up? How did she call him? I know not. She spoke Barbados. Did you feel any strangeness when she called him? A sudden cold wind, perhaps? A trembling below the ground? I didn't see no devil. Betty, wake up! Betty! Betty! You cannot evade me, Abigail. Did your cousin drink any of the brew in that kettle? She never drank it. Did you drink it? No, sir. Did Tituba ask you to drink it? She tried, but I refused. Why are you concealing? Have you sold yourself to Lucifer? I never sold myself. I am a good girl. I am a proper girl. Mrs. Putnam enters with Tituba, and instantly Abigail points at Tituba. She made me do it. She made Betty do it. Abby! She makes me drink blood. Blood? My baby's blood. No, no, chicken blood. I give she chicken blood. Woman, have you enlisted these children for the devil? No, no, sir. I don't truck with no devil. Why can she not wake? Are you silencing this child? Oh, I love me, Betty. You have sent your spirit out upon this child, have you not? Are you gathering souls for the devil? She sends her spirit on me in church. She makes me laugh at prayer. Oh, she hath often laughed at prayer. She comes to me every night to go and drink blood. No, you beg me to conjure. She begged me make charm. Don't lie. She come to me while I sleep. She always making me dream corruptions. Oh, Abby, why you say that, Abby? Sometimes I wake and find myself standing in the open doorway and not a stitch on my body. I always hear her laughing in my sleep. I hear her singing her Barbados songs and tempting me with, Mr. Reverend, I never, Tituba, I want you to wake this child. I have no power on this child, sir. You most certainly do, and you will free her from it now. When did you compact with the devil? Oh, I don't compact with no devil. You will confess yourself, or I will take you out and whip you to death, Tituba. This woman must be hanged. She must be taken and hanged. Tituba, terrified, falls on her knees. No! Don't hang Tituba. I tell him I don't desire to work for him, sir. The devil? Then you saw him. Now, Tituba, I know that when we bind ourselves to hell, it is very hard to break with it. We are going to help you tear yourself free. Okay, Tituba, frightened by the coming process of tearing the devil free. Mr. Reverend, I do believe somebody else bewitching these children. Who? I don't know, sir, but the devil got him numerous witches. Does he? Tituba, look into my eyes. Come, look into me. She raises her eyes to his fearfully. You would be a good Christian woman, would you not, Tituba? I, sir, a good Christian woman. And you love these little children? Oh, yes, sir. I don't desire to hurt little children. And you love God, Tituba? I love God with all my being. Now, in God's holy name, oh, bless him, bless him. and to his glory, oh, eternal glory, bless him, bless God. Open yourself, Tituba. Open yourself and let God's holy light shine on you. Oh, bless the Lord. When the devil comes to you, does he ever come with another person? She stares up at his face. Perhaps another person in the village, someone you know. Yes, who came with him? Sarah Good. Did you ever see Sarah Good with him, or Osborne? Was it a man or a woman come with him? Man or woman? Was woman? What woman? A woman, you said? What woman? It was black, dark, and I... You could see him. Why could you not see her? Well, they was always talking. They was always running round and carrying on. You mean out of Salem? Salem witches? I believe so. Yes, sir. Hale takes a hand. She is surprised. Tituba, you must have no fear to tell us who they are. Do you understand? We will protect you. The devil can never overcome a minister. You know that, do you not? Oh, sir. Oh, I do. You have confessed yourself to witchcraft, and that speaks a wish to come to heaven's side, and we will bless you, Tituba. Oh, God bless you, Mr. Hale. You are God's instrument put in our hands to discover the devil's agents among us. You are selected, Tituba. You are chosen to help us cleanse our village. So speak utterly, Tituba. Turn your back on him and face God. Face God, Tituba, and God will protect you. Oh, God protect Tituba. Right. Who came to you with the devil? 2, 3, 4? How many? Tituba pants and begins rocking back and forth again, staring ahead. There was 4. There was 4. Who? Their names. Their names. Oh, how many times he bid me kill you, Mr. Paris. Kill me? Oh, he say, Mr. Paris must be killed. Mr. Paris, no goodly man, Mr. Paris, mean man, and no gentleman. And he bid me rise out of my bed and cut your throat. But I tell him, no, I don't hate that man. I don't want to kill that man, but he say, you work for me, and I make you free. I give you pretty dress to wear and put you way high up in the air, and you won't fly back to Barbados. And I say, you lie, devil, you lie. And then he come one stormy night to me and he say, look, I have white people belong to me. And I look, and there was Goody Good. Sarah Good. Oh, I say, and Goody Osborne. I knew it. Goody Osborne were midwife to me 3 times. I begged you, Thomas, did I not? I begged him not to call Osborne because I feared her. My baby's always shriveled in her hands. Take courage. You must give us all their names. How can you bear to see this child suffering? Look at her, Tituba. He's indicating Betty on the bed. Look at her God-given innocence. Her soul is so tender. We must protect her, Tituba. The devil is out and preying on her like a beast upon the flesh of the pure lamb. God will bless you for your help. Abigail rises, staring as though inspired, and cries out, I want to open myself. They turn to her, startled. She's enraptured, as though in a pearly light. I want the light of God. I want the sweet love of Jesus. I danced for the devil. I saw him. I wrote in his book. I go back to Jesus. I kiss his hand. I saw Sarah Good with the devil. I saw Goody Osborne with the devil. I saw Bridget Bishop with the devil. As she is speaking, Betty is rising from the bed, fever in her eyes, and picks up the charm. I saw Goody Jacobs with the devil. I saw Goody Howe with the devil. Ha! She speaks. He rushes to embrace Betty. She speaks. Glory to God. It is broken. They are free. I saw Martha Bellows with the devil. I saw Goody Sibber with the devil. The marshal. I'll call the marshal. Paris is shouting a prayer of thanksgiving. I saw Alice Barrow with the devil. Let the marshal bring the irons. I saw Goody Hawkins with the devil. I saw Goody Bibber with the devil. I saw Goody Booth with the devil. Right, I hope I managed to convey to you the hysteria and the emotional behaviour that goes on at the end of Act 1 there. It really is a crescendo of drama. Crescendo is a word that's used in music, meaning get louder and to gradually get louder. So it doesn't go from zero to hero, it builds. And that's exactly what happened to that scene that I've just read to you. It builds throughout the scene, and by the end of it, with all those girls shouting, pointing the finger at somebody, blaming somebody, all trying to make sure that they don't end up in trouble. That is a very dramatic piece of theatre if you are ever fortunate enough to see it. Okay, so I just went onto the internet and I googled hysteria in the Crucible, and these are some of the images that came up. You can see that what they all have in common are groups of females all huddled closely together, pointing and screaming in an uncontrolled way. And if you remember, that is the definition of hysteria: extreme and uncontrolled emotion. And that's what we see here. In tomorrow's lesson, we're going to consider why it is that Tituba suddenly confessed to seeing the devil, and why Abigail and then the other girls start calling out that they have seen these women with the devil. What is it that motivated them to make those confessions? Because although they were playing at conjuring spirits in the forest, the night before the play starts. There isn't really anything to suggest that they were successful and that any of them are witches, or that witches are present in Salem. This is all a frenzy. It's a rumour that gets built upon and becomes out of control and results in this hysterical, emotional behaviour. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow as we finish off Act 1 of The Crucible. Well done, everybody.